The desert wind rolled across the high plains of Arizona like a living thing, carrying the heat of the afternoon and the faint scent of pine from the distant hills. Jacob Reyes sat tall in the saddle, his horse shifting restlessly beneath him as he stared at the isolated army outpost ahead. The sun glared off the tin roofs, the stark white of the walls, cutting sharply against the red dust of the frontier. It was a lonely place, a place where men came to disappear, or to drown in their sins, and Jacob had plenty of those. He wasn't proud of the life behind him. Once, he'd been a tracker, a scout, even a hired gun when desperation clawed at his ribs. He had tracked horse thieves, bounty jumpers, cattle rustlers, and sometimes men whose only crime was standing in the wrong place on the wrong day. Every night he carried those ghosts with him, and some nights they spoke louder than others. But when Major Hargrove sent for him, promising decent pay and a military contract, Jacob had listened. Money was money, and guilt didn't buy food. He nudged his horse forward and rode through the gate. The soldiers gave him wary glances, but not suspicious ones. Men like him were common out here, half outlaw, half asset. Major Hargrove waited near the headquarters building, hands behind his back, his polished boots and sharp uniform looking painfully out of place. In the dusty yard, his gray mustache twitched with impatience when he spotted Jacob dismounting. "Reyes," the major barked. "You took your time." Jacob tipped his hat. "Long ride from Prescott. Roads ain't exactly paved with comfort out there." The major snorted, but he didn't argue. He merely turned and motioned for Jacob to follow. "Inside. There's a matter that requires someone with your particular skills." Jacob followed him into the dim office. A single wooden table occupied the center, maps littering its surface. One map, in particular, had thick red lines drawn around the territory of the White Mesa Apache. Jacob recognized the area instantly. Secluded, mountainous, dotted with hidden springs the army had never found. "I assume you know this land well," Hargrove said. "Well enough," Jacob answered cautiously. "Enough to know most men go in but don't come out. That's why I need you." Hargrove exhaled deeply, folding his arms behind his back. "Last week, our patrol captured an Apache woman near Skeleton Ridge. She was scouting us, or something worse. Hard to tell. She refuses to speak, will not eat, won't even give us her name." Jacob's jaw tightened. Captives. He had seen the army take many in his life, and it never ended well. "And what exactly do you want from me?" Hargrove leaned forward. "She's dangerous, wild. We've had 3 men injured trying to move her. I need someone who knows their ways, someone who won't hesitate if she tries something." The major's eyes grew hard. "I'm offering you $70 a month. Guard her, keep her from escaping, and get her talking." Jacob's stomach twisted at the phrase, "won't hesitate." He had seen Apache warriors fight with courage, fierceness, and pride, not savagery. They protected their land the way any man would. But money was money, and he had none. So he nodded. "I'll take the job." Hargrove didn't hide his relief. "Good. She's in the far cell. Don't get careless. She's clever." The major escorted him to the holding building, a long structure with thick walls and iron-barred windows. As Jacob stepped inside, he felt the air change. It was cooler, darker, quieter. Only one torch burned at the far end of the corridor, flickering against the stone. "That's her," Hargrove said, gesturing to the last cell. "I'll have a cot brought for you. You'll be stationed here, day and night." The major walked away, leaving Jacob alone, with the sound of his own boots echoing down the corridor. He approached the cell slowly, unsure of what to expect. And then he saw her. She sat cross-legged in the corner, wrists bound, head lowered, but alert like a mountain lion watching from the shadows. A single braid of midnight black hair fell over her shoulder, adorned with tiny beads of turquoise. Her clothes were torn from the struggle of capture, yet she held her posture with unbroken dignity. Her skin glowed bronze in the torchlight, and her eyes, when she lifted them to Jacob, were sharp, fierce, and burning with defiance. For a moment, Jacob forgot to breathe. He had expected someone hardened, brutal, fearsome, but instead, he saw someone proud and wrong. She stared at him with neither fear nor submission, only anger, and something deeper, a determination that no iron bars could break. Jacob cleared his throat. "Name's Jacob Reyes. Looks like I'm your guard. She didn't speak. Of course she didn't. Not to him. Not to any of them. But something happened in that moment. Something he hadn't expected. The longer he held her gaze, the more Jacob felt the wrongness of this place, pressing down on him. She was no monster, no savage. She was a woman torn from her home, her people, her land. He didn't know her story yet, but he would. And as the silence stretched thick between them, a thought he could not shake whispered through him. She shouldn't be here. She doesn't belong behind these bars. And hell, help me. I might be the only one who can set her free. Jacob stepped back, unsettled by the force of the realization. He had accepted the job for money. But now, staring at her, money suddenly felt too small a reason to stay. This wasn't guarding. This wasn't justice. This was captivity. The kind he could no longer stomach being part of. And that was the moment, the very first moment, Jacob Reyes knew his life was about to change. Because the woman behind those iron bars wasn't a prisoner. She was a fire waiting to be unleashed. And he, whether he wanted it or not, was already burning.